like Mike in the city a lot. She actually wrote some jokes for Joan Rivers, so Joan Rivers likes a joke, and she wrote it, had to be a good joke. Please welcome Miss Helene Witt.
Mike and Alan and all of you who ate all the food just to see the comedy show. How was the food? Good? 3 people clapped. Well, thank you for coming. I know you don't know me and you're wondering, is that the love child of Barbara Streisand and Barry Manilow? The only people who aren't wondering that are the 3 people in the audience who see every single show that I do. And I open with that joke. So, unlike Barbara Streisand and Barry Manilow, I can't just go and get anything done with my body or my face the way they do. You agree with me? I mean, they're rich and famous. For example, on my way here, true story, my skirt hem ripped. Look what I had to do. Put tape on it. Could they do that? No, they have a seamstress in the back of the tour bus, right? I'm sharing my vulnerable moments with you, folks. I thought instead of you seeing it, I would just tell you that it happened. I did stop at that store. What's it called? The Olive Tree? Oh, no, it's called, that store right there. I tried to buy something. I said, you know what? I'll save $20, $25, $30 by just telling them I have a rip in my skirt. So, I'm getting older. Any of you getting older here? I mean, menstruation, menopause, those were the days. Am I right? None of you can relate. None of you are as old as me, but wait till you get there. Like, for example, I look in the mirror, and I see I have pound signs here, I have parentheses here, and I have some, everything's going on. I have exclamation points. So if I have exclamation points, pound signs, parentheses, I may as well just lay down and you can send a text message on my face. But you have to have a positive attitude. For example, I'm losing my hair. You can't tell, but I'm losing my hair. But I know where it's going. It's going to my knuckles. I look in the mirror and I go, hourglass figure, it's about a week and a half. You know that thing they call it a muffin top? I got a baker's dozen. Unbelievable. And then my friend Selma says, these are called marionettes. Oh, thanks a lot. I got the Lion King and Avenue Q going on my face. Thank you very much for telling me what those are called, right? So, you got to be positive. So this thing they have when you get to be my age is called, they're called varicose veins. They're the colors of the rainbow. You learned it in 3rd grade. Roy G. Bibb. Purple, red, green. Any of you get that yet? None of you are my age. I thought by now you'd admit you might be my age, but no, nobody's my age. So anyway, I don't call them varicose veins, because that's negative. I call them a roadmap to adventure. This road takes you to the Sterling Forest. Let me break that down for the young ladies, because you do the Brazilian and all, I don't even know what that is. I got the Sterling Forest, which is a synonym for like gray, silver, old, sterling. This road takes you to the Dead Sea, which brings you back to the thing when I said menstruation, menopause, those were the days, the wet and wild days, Dead Sea, you got it? So when I was coming in here, the waitress said, not waitress, but the manager of the restaurant said, why don't you tell my joke? So she told me this happened, and it's so funny to me. You know, Ben's is a coach of restaurant. She said this couple came in, they weren't Jewish or anything, and they said, do you have any cheese for my hamburger? She said, oh, no, not at Ben's. You can't have cheese at Ben's. No, it's kosher. So she comes back. She says, where's your husband? So the wife says, oh, he went to Warbams to get some cheese. True story, she told me. Maybe it would have worked better if you came up with it. So, tell you more about myself. I used to be a school teacher in New York City. I have some school teachers here in the audience. Any other teachers here? Give it up for the teachers, right? So, we're from a school in South Jamaica, Queens, called PS 140. That's the name of our school. And they were really tough kids at PS 140. Did you know Mrs. Connor's 2nd grade class had a gang? It's true, in the lunchroom, the ritual of these girls were to take the milk containers off of my class's trays. They were called the half pints. So I told my students, this is going to be an educational opportunity, and you got to get tough. You got to get tough. You got to get so tough that you could make the Crips and the Bloods hemorrhage. I'm pumping them up to retaliate against the half pints. So then I said I have to make I have to make it educational. So I said, we're going to learn prefixes and suffixes today. You know the Crips? Your name is going to be the prescriptions. There's your prefix, your suffix, and your Crips right in the middle. No, but sad, but true, I learned something from one of my students one day when he said, I have the word of the day and the show and tell item. He brought in a Glock, G-L-O-C-K. Yeah, too soon, right? They're really tough. Like when you walk into our school, Myrna's saying, you're right. When you walk into my school, you see the school colors, dried blood red and black and blue. Teacher, how do you tell time? That's easy. How long did you have me locked in the closet yesterday? And everything for the superintendent is a teachable moment. Teachable moment, right? So Johnny and Jimmy were having a fight. I'm changing their names to protect the innocent. Johnny and Jimmy were having a fight. I had a choice. Do I break it up and get hurt? My union doesn't support, helping you at all, right, teachers? Or do I let them kill each other and then you'll see my name on the Daily News? Don't they make a lot of money? Couldn't she have saved those 2 lives? So I break up the fight, and, I called him Jimmy, right? And Jimmy goes, he choked me terrible! I said, stop. This is a teachable moment. You're using your adverbs incorrectly. He choked you terribly. Another teachable moment I had was when I was teaching measurement. Now, you can agree with me, they don't give you any money for supplies at PS 140, right? Miss Johnson, I won't mention names, but they don't give you any money for supplies. So I had to bring in my own measurement equipment to teach the measurement. So I brought in my bathroom scale, my Weight Watcher scale, my cocaine scale. I'm only kidding, I'm a teacher. I never went to Weight Watchers. Well, you can tell I did go to Weight Watchers, but I didn't do the scale thing, the measuring what do they call those? Measuring the points? Yeah, just seeing if you're listening, thank you. Shouldn't talk about Weight Watchers when you're at Ben's, I had a slogan at Weight Watchers. I would buy those big Edie's raspberry swirl ice creams, and then I would find that I ate the whole thing. I go, why? And the Weight Watchers leader would say, why? Why did you eat the whole thing? I said, I had to follow the swirl. I think that's going to be the name of my autobiography, Follow the Swirl. So I've been married a couple of times. I've been married twice. One time I was married to a Chinese guy, and once I was married to a Jewish guy. And people say, what's the difference between being married to a Chinese guy and a Jewish guy? I said, no difference. They're both cheap sons of bitches that drive terribly. I'm sorry, but you know what? Hanukkah was on the same night as Thanksgiving. Who remembers that? Just 3 years ago, right? You remember, you're smiling, you like that. I would have liked to have been married during that time. You know why? My mother-in-law would have had to eat dinner over my house once. But when you're married to a Chinese guy and you're Jewish, what do you think you have? 3 New Years. So first we had the American New Year, and there are fireworks. Then there's the Chinese New Year. I'm doing the calendar. Fireworks. Then you have the Jewish New Year. No fireworks. Unless you eat my Nes's Luxemkugel with a lot of horseradish on it. Fireworks. So I'm from Bayside. I'm not from Bayside, but I live in Bayside. How many of you actually live here? Raise your hand, I was going to say. You live in Bayside? Did you ever go to that hairdressing salon there? Of course, I don't go there. But I went to get my nails done there. My hairdresser's in the audience, so of course I never would set foot in there to get my hair done. And you can tell. No. So I didn't go there for that, but I went to get my nails done. So I'm in the nail. You know which place I mean? I don't want to give it a bad name, because I got my nails done there. But when you're sitting getting your nails done there, it's a big, big place. They have everything. The door was open, and this lady, about my age, she was getting the hair on her face ripped off from this other lady who was putting wax on pieces of tape and then just like ripping the shreds out of her face. And then she put another one and then rip it again. I said, I'd rather have the peach fuzz and make a macrame bracelet out of it than to do that to my... So I said, I live in Bayside now, but I'm from Long Island. How many of you, again, I know that Alan or Mike asked who's from Long Island. How many Long Island people? Yeah. Well, let me tell you what happened at my mother's beauty parlor. And this is a true story. My mother goes to the beauty parlor every week in Long Island, and the women are kind of boasting about their children. My mother wasn't one to boast, but you'll hear why. So the first one, Mrs. Oster, says, my stepson. They don't really talk this way, but it sounds more Jewish, right? My stepson, he's a Nobel Prize winner. Then Mrs. Fast says, my son, David, he's not only a doctor, but he's going to be an actor at night. He's in a community play. And Ruby, that's my mother. Ruby, what does your child do? Oh, she's divorced. My other son's divorced. My other son's divorced. And she spends her time in a deli in the back room on Saturday night performing. It's this joke about how these other people brag about their children going to Harvard and everything like that. So, anybody use the Vietnamese nail salon? Any of you go there? No? Wow. Where do you people get your nails done? You don't want to say. Does anyone get their nails done? Oh, anyway, I go to the Vietnamese nail salon near my sister-in-law's house and my brother's house, and they torture you there. I hate to say it, but first of all, they charge you 3 times as much as what I pay in my neighborhood. And like I said, I went to that other place where they rip the shreds out of your face. But the Vietnamese, they're trying to get me back. I said, I did not bomb your village. I protested against the war. I think they put napalm in there because it really burned when they put the hot wax on my hand. It was like torture. And then when you're getting your feet cut and they put you through that vibrating machine, do any of you get pedicures here? They put it on and you're like shaking, and then like you're shaking so much that while they're cutting your toenails and hurting you really a lot, you're afraid that you're going to like slide down into the water and get zapped and electrocuted. Did that ever happen to you, miss? You wouldn't be here to talk about it, I know. Well, I'm going to leave you with this one. The cuckoo on my biological clock, yes, I have a cuckoo on my biological clock, it's wearing depends. I said I'd leave you on that one, but I'll really leave you on this one. I've already passed the information age, and I'm headed for the inflammation age. Thank you very much.
Away it went.